Walking out to the plane, getting some fuel. I'm gonna get it all. Get my jazz loaded up in the nose. I usually put my bag in the nose first. How's it going? Alright guys, while I'm waiting for my clearance and everything to come up, which is about 30 minutes, that's when I was going to fire up the GPU. Something that I can do on the pre-flight cockpit preparation stuff before I actually get going and get my flows going is the emergency battery switch. I can turn it to emergency, which is in the down position. Kind of hard to see because it's dark, but right there it is. We'll let everything come up, and then we're going to go down this list right here. We're going to make sure, I'm going to go on the PFD. Let me move the yoke out of the way. We're going to go on the PFD. Let me see if I can get my camera aiming right. We're going to go PFD settings, other settings, sensors, and then air data computer settings. We're going to make sure it works on number 2. See, it just came up. I'll go back to 1, and then I go back, and then I go attitude heading settings. We can make sure it works on number 2. It does. It's using 2, so it came up. We'll go back to 1. I'll go back, 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 back. We're back to where we were. And then the next thing is the display controller. All I have to do to test that, I can hit this button. I can hit direct 2. It pulled it up. So this controller is working, and by hitting direct 2, I can see that my GPS is working. It hasn't come up yet, but it will. Left, and then on the, oops, sorry about that. Let me move my, on the GTC controller, the Garmin touchscreen controller here, we make sure number 1 is lit up, and it is. It's got power.
Pause, system test.
And then you go down the list. You want to make sure you got COM 1. COM 2 doesn't work, obviously. Nav 1. Nav 1, it works. And you can see it's not X'd out. Transponder 1 is working. FMS, we just checked that by, it hasn't come up yet, but or actually, see, you can see now we've got the little display, so it's working, right? And I can hit direct. Let me find the button, direct 2. You can see it's working. Pilot and co-pilot audio. If I scroll up, I've got pilot and co-pilot is both working on 1, right? Both working on 1. And then cabin PA. Oops. Speaker. Cabin PA. You make sure that works. And it does. So it's got power. And then standby flight instrument, I didn't turn it on. I'll wait till I usually do that when I'm booting up with on power. And then the AFCS control panel should work. The auto, and you can see it's all lit up, so it's working. And floodlights. The floodlight switch right here, we can turn around. We'll see my floodlights work on the emergency bus. So everything's working on the emergency bus. We'll turn that off. All right. And that's all I do. And then I would continue with the checklist, which is booting everything up. And I'm going to go through that real quick. I'm going to show you my flow that does everything really nice and efficiently. Gets my everything programmed in, gets the GPS initialized, and goes through all my system tests. So we'll do that in just 1 second. All right, here we go. Ooh, chiming, just perfect timing. My clearance just came in. So I'm going to turn on the emergency lights up to arm, and then my standby go down to check green, and then up it's yellow. And then when I turn on the battery, the standby will come on, and everything's going to boot up. All right, so let's get this party started. Excuse me. I'm going to go through it. The easiest way to do everything is to not skip this page. Let's just go right through each block one by one. So we'll start at the top. Databases. It's not yellow, so I know everything's good, but I can scroll down to verify that everything's good, and then I just go next. And then it's going to the weight and fuel page, which is the next square over here, right? So we're going to go crew and stores. That's me and the bags in the nose and sodas and whatnot. So that's all preloaded. And then I'm going to say 2 passengers. 2 passengers at 210, 30 pounds of cargo. Takeoff, fuel on board, I don't even have to type in what's in there. I've got 2850, so I just hit FOB sync, which is fuel on board sync. So it put 2850 in there. All right, and landing, there's nothing in there yet because I haven't loaded anything. So we're going to skip ahead now. We hit next. We're going to go Greensboro. I'm going to type in Philly, KPHL, Philadelphia, enter. And I'm going to look at my clearance. Let's look at our clearance. We can pull that up on the phone. All right. Oops, sorry, we're on the wrong page. All right, here it is. So it gave me the ATIS and it gave me the clearance. So here it is, Greensboro, Quaker 7. Let's put that right there so we can see that.
Test. Okay.
Okay, Quaker 7, South Boston, transition, Flat Rock, Patch 3, Philly. All right, so let's hit procedure. We're going to go departure first. It was the Quaker 7, South Boston transition. So Quaker 7. Let's find this South Boston transition. They're doing 2-3s, so we're going to say 2-3 left and load. All right, so that's in there all the way up to South Boston. My next fixed is Flat Rock Patch 3. So since I don't know if Flat Rock is part of that arrival right off the top of my head, the easiest way to do it is to go ahead and load the arrival first. The arrival, we're going to pick Patch 3. And Flat Rock is part of the arrival, so that makes it easy. Flat Rock. And then what I'm going to do, so I know what runway we're using up there, let's go to flight plan, or for flight. Go to airport tab, Philly. Let's pull up, this is 40 minutes old, so the arrival is saying they are using, let's see, simultaneous approach to intersecting runway 27 right and 35. Ooh. Let's hope we get 3.5, because 3.5 would be great. That makes it easy. I'm going to put 3.5 in there. I'm going to be optimistic. And then we're going to load it. All right, so that's all in there. We can scroll through it and look, make sure everything looks good. But that's all in there. And then and we can also look here on the map to make sure it makes sense, that it's a straight line. Then we're going to hit next. All right, and then here's where I'm going to put in departure time. It's going to be 1300. Is 8 o'clock local, 1300 UTC. Cruise, I filed 35. So we're going to put in 35,000. 350, flight level 350. All right, and then I can put in some winds on my for flight on the nav log. It's got the average winds 267 at 78. 267 at 78. It's kind of hard to hold this at the same thing. 350 267. What did I say?
How's it going, Pete?
All right, how's it going?
You just waiting on one, or?
Yeah, I got 2 coming.
Oh, 2? Well, one's here.
Yeah, I saw them in there.
Oh,
we're good.
backpack, I got his bag.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
I'll just throw it in the back.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm gonna hit next. Weather. Normally I can hit load METAR, but it hasn't come up yet. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back to my clearance. Here's the ATIS Delta 190 at 8. So we're gonna go 190 at 8 knots. Enter. The temperature's always already in there from the RAT. Runway's in there. It tells me my numbers, the gradients, all that takeoff configuration. I always do rolling takeoff. I could change that to a static, but we're good with 10,000 feet of runway takeoff data. And then I hit accept, and that bugged my speeds over here on the speed tape. All right. And what's our altimeter setting? 299.4. We'll set that. 904. We'll set that. Next. All right, let's set this to the side. I'm going to hit fire warning. Now we're going to listen for left engine fire, right engine fire.
Right engine fire.
So we got both of them,
Left engine
and we can
fire.
cancel it.
Right engine fire.
All right, I'm going to hit landing gear.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
All right, so we can
Landing
cancel
gear.
that. Angle of attack is working. My stick shaker's working. Windshield over temp. To do this, I have to turn on crack my windshield bleed air, and I turn it on low, and we're going to get an over temp warning. over temp, and I can cancel it, right? And then I just turn this off and to close that back, and it will finish the self-test right here. Then overspeed, there's the overspeed warning. It works. Anti-skid is in progress. I get an anti-skid warning. I get a master caution. I can cancel that. It finishes the test on its known. Annunciator is all the lights. 2, I got actually 3, so 2, 2, 2, and 3 down here. So all the lights are working. And then radar altimeter, it's going to do its thing. It's testing. The radar altimeter is testing. If I was aiming at that, that would have pulled up. That wasn't there before the test, but anyways, I missed that, but you get the point. It's doing the self-test. It'll finish. I'm gonna bug up here on my altitude pre-select 5,000 because that's on my clearance. I'm gonna push the takeoff toggle button to pull up my V-bars. We'll wait till this finishes. I don't really have to, but I always wait till it finishes. And then I'm gonna hit initialize. And I'm gonna say accept initialization, and then I'm gonna go to flight plan. So that's all in there. So we've done a lot of our stuff. And then I come over here on this page and I hit aircraft system, temperature, and I have it ready to go. So after I start, I'll be ready to go. And then I can go to full page on this one. Okay, and that's it for now. And then I do have to put my squawk code in. I'm gonna look at my clearance again. Look at my clearance. So it's cleared Quaker 7 departure, South Boston transition, maintain 5,000, expect 350 on 10. Departure frequency 126.6. And where's my squawk? Squawk is 3166. 3166. So we're going to type that in here. 3166. Enter. Alright, and that's it for now. Stay tuned.